Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm doing a bit of a throwback look. I actually had a comment by Marie on one of my videos from, I want to say 6 years ago. It's like a double wing look, asking if I wouldn't mind recreating it at some point. So I thought I would do that today. I had a quick look over the video to see what products I used. A lot of the products I don't have, so I had to get stuff that was similar. And it's interesting because there are a lot of products in front of me and I don't usually nowadays use too many products within one look. But it should be fun. I'm gonna bring up the video on my phone. We can watch a little bit together. The lighting is very bright in the video, which is quite funny. I will also link the full video down below in case you wanted to go and have a laugh, but not at the look necessarily, but at the quality of the video. But yeah, so I thought it would be fun to try and recreate it, and maybe more create it in a way that I would do it now as well. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please keep on watching. Right. Excellent. Screen is recording. Thank you very much. Now I've got to go and find the video. Yeah, 6 years ago this video was, and it's got 10k views, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so I think this is a voiceover that I did with this one, so that's good. It's only 7 minutes long, so again, very nice and quick. So let's get started. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm doing this double winged eyeliner look. Concealer, I can't remember the name of concealer, but I'll link it down below to prime my eyes, and using the Gosh mineral powder to set that in place. Right, well, straight away I do things very differently. So I use a concealer and then I set it. I just now go in with eye primer, so that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to use the Lily Lola eye primer. And also interesting, I'm doing my eyes first with this one, and I have noticed as well that it would look like I've already got my brows done in this video, so I'm going to quickly prime my eyes and then I'll go ahead and fill in the brows. But let me just prep and prime. Go ahead and do my usual brows, so just going to fill them in with the ABH powder and then go through with the Kosas Air brow, and then I'll be back to continue with the video. Okay, let's continue with the video. So the Fortune Favours the Brave palette was mainly a neutral palette with a few pops of blue. Now, the palette I'm going to use neutral wise is probably 3 times the price of the Makeup Revolution palette, but definitely better quality. So it's Ether Beauty Salsa's palette is the one I'm going to use, and it looks like. Then I'm taking this neutral matte brown shade and I'm just buffing this into the crease and above to act as my transition shade. Okay, so I go in with a very light neutral shade to begin with on a fluffy brush, and this is, as I say, my transition shade. Now I kind of work backwards to that now, so I tend to start with the deeper colours on the lid and then work my way out, whereas here I feel like I'm going to do it the other way around. But I'm going to go in with Soul as this initial transition shade. So the colours might not be exact match, but I want to do like my variation of how I do that makeup now. So yeah, so I'm going to buff this through the crease. Okay, transition shade on. What is the next step? So a very pretty shimmery gold colour. Now it looks like I'm about to go in another gold colour on the outer portion of the lid. So I'm going to start off with the shade Citrine. And this is going to go on the inner third of the lid. So it's quite a simple eyeshadow look. It's more the wing, I think, for this one that is the focal point. So take a Citrine. I'm going to pop this onto the lid. Now something that probably is a bit different is I do like to bring the shimmers on my lid a little bit up into the crease, just to add that bit extra space on the lid. and just open up the eyes. But hopefully with this video you can see everything a bit clearer. It's not too bright like that video. Fluffy brush and just buff out the edges slightly.
Greeny brown shimmery shade. I'm then packing this on the outer section of the lid.
Greeny brown shimmery shade, right. Okay, in that case I might mix it up. I'm going to take Solstice, this one here, on a flat brush again. I don't think I've much used this shade actually from this palette, weirdly. And this is going to go on the outer portion. So just a nice shimmer, soft, smoky eye. Probably the difference with this is I probably would have put down a darker matte underneath before the shimmer just to get a bit more depth on the outer corner. But it does create a nice soft look to the eyes. Make sure it's all buffed nicely. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. Let's have another look.
And blending it out. Then to create some definition, I'm going with matte dark brown.
Oh.
This again on the outer corner.
So I do go with a matte brown and buff it into the inner corner with a fluffy brush, but it seems a bit the wrong way round in my opinion. I would put the matte on first and then go in with the shimmer, but we shall go with it. So I'll take, this probably is a slightly warmer version that I'm doing now of that look, but it's fine, we'll go with it. I will then go in with Stare, this one here, on a nice fluffy brush. And it looks like I just use it just to kind of deepen up its outer portion, so that is what I will do. I need a bit more than that. I think in terms of my blending process, it's not too different. I think I just bring things a little higher than the crease. I used to, I think, always be a bit more shimmers in particular, focus only on the lid. Whereas now I do like to bring them kind of just above the crease, just to open up the eyes. And I think actually shimmer can look quite pretty in the crease. And I tell you what, the good thing about doing eyes first is you can be a little bit messy on this outer portion and not have to worry about it until later.
I wanted something a bit deeper, but I didn't want to go black. So I took this dark navy blue colour from the palette.
Okay, so I go a bit further with deepening up the outer corner with the dark navy blue. Now, again, it just seems a bit odd that I've gone with the shimmer first and then done this deepening up, but we'll go with it. I'm don't know if I like, I'm actually going to skip the navy blue bit because I don't think that's going to work. I quite like how it's going at the moment, so I'm going to skip that portion actually.
Blue shade, and I'm popping this on the brow bone to highlight.
Okay, brow bone highlight white shimmery shade. So what I'm going to do instead is use the highlighter that I'm going to use in this video and use that to highlight my brow bone. So the Pure Diamond Dust. I think the skin portion of this is going to be the most interesting because I used to do the full, well, I don't know if I did the full works, but I definitely went heavier and put quite a bit more product on the face portion. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes. Okay, so I did actually go with a bit of primer, so I'll take my e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer for the time being. I think the one I used is a bit more like a moisturiser primer, whereas this one is a bit more kind of hydrating but tacky as well. So I'm just going to focus that on the T-centre. And then I do colour correcting, which I don't tend to do now at all. So I have got the Benecos colour corrector. I'll actually just use my fingers for this. Let's just do a little bit, shall we? Why not? Okay, I'm going to take some of the peachy shade. Just got my finger just to kind of warm it up. And I'm just going to pop it underneath here, do a bit of brightening, a bit of colour correcting. And actually I will do some on this beast down here. Okay, so I'll take some of the green out of that palette now. And just pat only directly onto the spot. Nowhere else. I won't bother the rest of the chin, I'll just do it on this particular spot here. Okay.
This way, foundation and porcelain, and buff this into my skin.
Foundation time. So I do go in with a foundation. I'm going to use, no surprise, my Hint Beauty concealer. I've actually run out of my Lily Lola Cotton foundation, so Hint Beauty is what I've got left at the moment. Let's find a buffing brush. I think I was using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation then. This is the part where I can neaten up my eyes. So again, Hint Beauty, I popped it under my eyes. Looks of things. I'm going to put some on my redness. On all these lovely blemishes.
And I also go in with that same Gosh mineral powder just to set.
Okay, so I do set my skin as well. I don't have the Gosh powder anymore, so I'm going to take the Illamasqua loose setting powder that I have. Which again is something I don't tend to do really, unless occasionally if I'm like going out, I'll go ahead and set, but very rarely do you see me set my skin.
I liquid liner, and on the upper lash line I create a very standard winged liner.
Okay, now I don't have a liquid liner, so we are going to be using a cake liner. For this I'm taking my Colour Trip palette and I'm going to take the black cake liner from this. So like I said, I start off with kind of a regular winged look. And to be honest, whenever I do a wing now, I tend to use eyeshadow. Just because I prefer it and I find it easier to use, but that's good. Okay, so I take it all the way across. Okay, that's one wing done.
It's deep matte brown and I buff this into the lower lash line.
I'll just go in with Sister again, just to line or buff across the lower lash line. I'll just use a pencil brush for this.
Take it along the lower lash line. As you can see, it kind of does cover the eyeshadow that I just did, and then I wing it out. But I have
Right, let's do this. What I do initially is create a little bit of a angle at the front, so not quite like a cat eye, it's a bit further into the lower lash line. And then bring it along the lower lash line. I need to sort out that inner corner. It's not as sharp as I would have liked it. I feel like I need to flatten this brush slightly. Switching to a much thinner brush just because that one isn't going to be thin enough for what I want it to do. So it looks like I go out here. And just create a second wing. Can I go more down it this way? Okay, I'm going to do some definite tidying up of this. But that is what it kind of supposed to look like. It is quite cool, to be fair. I'd probably actually bring this one a bit down a bit more, but we'll go with it. Let's just try and do the other side now. So I'm switching back to a slightly thicker brush. Just to get the bulk of it down. I have gone and got some of that into my lower lash line, so I may have to add some black into the waterline as well. A little flat brush like this, go back in, pick up some of my concealer and just see if I can neaten up some of these edges ever so slightly. That's better.
Then I'm taking this new mascara I'm
Right,
trying out.
so it doesn't look like I do put anything in the waterline, but because I did accidentally add something, and I think actually it would make the look quite cool, is go in my Lily Lolo black eye pencil and just run this in the waterline. But in the inner corner, I'm only going to bring it up to where the actual liner starts. So the very, very inner portion will be bare. Okay, then I go in mascara. So my choice of mascara these days is the Lily Lola Big Lash. I'm just going to coat my upper and lower lashes. Okay, so I've got very dramatic eyes going on here. Let's have a little look. Oh, my tea's going cold. Okay, so 2 steps there. I had false eyelashes in that look. I don't tend to wear false eyelashes. I actually can't remember the last time I wore false eyelashes. So for this purpose, I won't be for this video. And then I do go in with some contouring, which again is not something that I tend to do. The only contouring kit I've got is Lily Lolo's. I do think this is slightly too warm for my skin tone, so it comes off as more of a bit of a bronzer, but I'm going to give it a go and contour my face with this. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is an iconic angled brush. It worked quite nicely. I quite like it for blusher, but it should work quite nicely for contouring, so let's do this. So I definitely went in here for the contouring. Like I take some around the perimeters as well, so I'll go ahead and do that.
bronzer in Golden Days.
Okay, so then I go in with a bit more shimmery bronzer on top. Now the only thing I've got is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting in Bronze Light. So I'm going to take it on the same brush and do a bit more of a, ooh, okay, overall bronze. Wow. I've gone way too heavy with this, but we'll go with it. If you see what I mean, definitely the face portion in particular is very different to my routine now, which is quite interesting to see.
Then I'm taking my Lily Lolo Warm Peach Blusher and pop this on my...
Okay, so I don't have that anymore, but what I'm going to use instead is Coralista from Lily Lolo, which I do love this. And blush is definitely something I still wear. Do more creams for the base in particular, so intriguing to see.
Then I'm taking my I Love Makeup Goddess of Faith highlighter and pop this on my cheekbones. I also pop it a little bit down the centre of my nose.
So I'm going to go in with Pure Diamond Dust from Ether Beauty. Kind of gives a very similar finish. Same brush again. And let's get this highlight going. Okay, so I just put some down the tip of my nose, down the bridge of my nose, sorry, rather. And then I have put some on the Cupid's bow too.
Now the original lip option, I did insert it, but I did change it in the end because I wasn't a fan. I wanted like a burnt orange lip to go with this, so I took mine. In the end, as you'll see, I just didn't like the lip.
Oh, I quite like that lip actually.
So I took Colourpop's lippy stick in Hype Girl, which is like a peachy nude, and I...
So it looks more pinky nude, which is what I'm going to go for. So I actually quite like the orange glossy lip that I did with the first look, but apparently I didn't like it, which is very strange. But I'm going to do the nude lip option. So I'm going to take Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Floors Filter. I'm going to get rid of a bit of this gloss. I've got rid of some of that lip balm. And then I think I'm going to go in Flushed Rose from Lily Lolo. Probably nothing, I wouldn't change anything about the lip. I probably would. This is a nice pairing. I do quite like the burnt orange look I was going for. Okay, and I believe that is probably it.
A much better colour to suit the eye look, and then that completes this look.
That is the completed look. So I thought, yeah, it was quite fun. Thank you to Marie for suggesting to recreate this again. It was quite fun to do. The eyes are very fun, interesting with the skin, how different my kind of base routine is nowadays. So it's always fun to play around and experiment. So you'll have to let me know your thoughts down below. I found it a lot of fun to recreate. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you do have any future requests, please do leave them down below and I'll do my best to get around to doing them. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all in my next video.